Within the Istvan system, the Traitor Legion sent patrols out on a daily basis as they awaited the return of the Space Wars to attack Terra en masse. There were still pockets of resistance on the world, fighting a guerrilla war in the Emperor's name. Many of these patrols would return vastly under strength, as the Loyalists would take their bloody toll on them. Those Loyalists who were captured were given a choice: join or die. Most of them chose the latter. Guilliman received word from the stewards of Ultramar. His empire was being assaulted by the forces of the Word-Bearers and World-Eaters. Guilliman requested that Rogal Dorn allow him to return to Ultramar with his legion and wipe out the Loyalists. Rogal Dorn refused. The War Master stated that taking Terra was more important right now, and to double back towards the eastern fringes would only allow the Loyalists more time to prepare for the final conflict. Dorn received a transmission from the Phalanx. The White Scar's fleet was fast approaching. Rogal Dorn was surprised and ordered the fleet to prepare for battle. The White Scar's fleet was battered and scarred from their escape of their homeworld, and Jagatai Khan opened a transmission to the Phalanx. When he spoke, he sounded like a broken man, his heart heavy and full of woe and regret. The Emperor, their father, had betrayed him and cast him aside like some broken and useless object. He humbly requested for the White Scars to join with Rogal Dorn's forces. Upon the flame wrought, Konrad Curze slowly awoke to find himself naked and in chains, strapped to an anvil embossed with a dragon, the sigil of the Salamander's Legion. Vulcan stood over his pallid brother and looked at him sadly. Konrad demanded to be let go, or if he was going to be killed, to just get it over with. Vulcan shook his head. He had been given orders by the War Master: interrogate and convert the Night Haunter to their cause, by any means necessary, much to Vulcan's sorrow. Vulcan picked up a white-hot branding iron and brought it to Curze's chest. The Lord of Night could feel the intense heat emanating from the metal and began to thrash around, not out of fear, but out of anger. Vulcan kindly asked his brother not to make him go through with such a cruel act. He had no desire to do such things, especially not to a brother, but the War Master had ordered him to do so. Curze spat into Vulcan's face and snarled, and Vulcan sighed with sorrow and disappointment, and pressed the searing metal into his brother's pale flesh, causing him to howl in pain as his skin bubbled and blistered, the room being filled with a stench of burning meat. Please, Vulcan begged Curze, join the War Master's side and end this unnecessary suffering. After several long, excruciating hours, Curze went limp and panted heavily from exertion. He asked Vulcan to look into his heart and just kill him, put him out of his misery, and end his suffering. Vulcan pondered for a moment before agreeing. He asked his brother if he had any last requests, and Konrad Curze asked to be unbound and killed with a swift blow to the head, let him die as a warrior on his feet. Either through naivete or compassion, Vulcan agreed and unfastened the heavy chains that bound the Lord of Night. As soon as they were removed, Curze lashed out with an intense psychic blast, hurling his giant of a brother back several feet into a weapons rack and shattering all glass and light within several meters from the epicenter of the blast. Curze disappeared into the shadows and escaped into the bowels of the ship, laughing like a maniac all the while. over the course of the next few days, as the salamanders desperately tried to hunt down Konrad Curze. They would discover the butchered and mutilated corpses of their kinsmen throughout the ship. Vulcan felt regret for his folly, but at the same time, part of his soul felt relieved, as if feeling he deserved punishment for his actions and his betrayal. When Vulcan finally retired to his chambers, he found the walls smeared in blood, with the words Ave Dominus Nox painted above the bed.